crucial aspects of Ikigai is how to keep your inner child alive, even in adult life. And, in order to do that, it's really wonderful to remember how you were absorbed in what you're doing as a child, whether it's playing or studying or physical activities. You when you were a child, sometimes you were so absorbed in the action that you were doing, so you forget the passage of time. You forget that you were there. You are not self-conscious, and you don't care what the significance of that action is. That is the state of flow described by the great psychologist Csikszentmihalyi. So that, I think, is a really important aspect of Ikigai, how to retain and revive your Ikigai in your adult life. As an adult, you tend to be more focused on external measures, how your actions will be evaluated, how you would get the brownie points, and how you would get social recognition and promotion, and more income, and so on. But that could be destructive in terms of Ikigai. So, you know, in Ikigai, you really need to focus on what you're doing without any regard of what the external evaluation of these actions would be. And, this is something that sounds pure. And this is something that doesn't sound like it necessarily lead to economic growth and prosperity. But the fact is, there's this crucial link between ikigai in this sense, the childlike, playful, focusing on something, and creativity, which could bring about innovation and economic prosperity. Uh, I'm in Kyoto right now, and this is the city where Nintendo originated. Nintendo used to produce playing cards, like Japanese traditional hanafuda, literally flower cards, which was sometimes used for gambling, and also trump cards. So Nintendo was a low-tech company, if you like, and it used to produce these, really wonderful lines of play cards. And then, because the market for these playing cards were obviously not so, you know, robust, Nintendo started to produce computer games, and one of the first hits was Super Mario Brothers, and the rest is history. So when Nintendo went on to produce video games, that was not so great in terms of external measures. I mean, at the time, the idea of even adults playing these video games was alien. Video games were a niche market. So, there was no guarantee that Nintendo would go on to make a lot of money and have global, uh, you know, prominence. At the time when they were producing video games, I presume that for people involved in producing the first Nintendo video games like Super Mario Bros. Were had their ikigai invested in it, and it's something equivalent in quality to the playful times that you had as a child, forgetting the passage of time and never minding how it will be evaluated by adults. Even today in Japan, the home of all these wonderful video games from Nintendo and Sony and Sega and so on, sometimes parents frown upon a child playing video games. I think it's the same everywhere, right? I mean, in the States and in the UK and in Canada and in China and so on. So parents necessarily do not necessarily love their kids playing video games, but that's the kind of misunderstanding I think we have about the foundations of creativity. Creativity is about forgetting external implications and focusing on what you're doing, just like a child playing video games and forgetting the passage of time. And of course, it'll be great to do other studies as well. In order to create video games, you need to understand the system, and mathematics will be great in designing the system, and other, liberal arts kind of knowledge would help in creating great video games. So, everything would come together eventually, and you do need some school learning as well. But, at the same time, we shouldn't forget that Ikigai, as experienced by a child when they are playing video games, could be the foundation for Ikigai as adults, and also could be the foundation for incredible creativity uh, that would lead to prosperity, a totally new industry, like in the case of Nintendo. So you should never, never forget the fact that Nintendo's prosperity, the Super Mario Brothers, started from Ikigai in childhood. And I think this is one of the greatest messages that I can tell you when I'm in Kyoto.